Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome on in. It's me and Mia today. She decided to join me today on the live, so I figured I left the door open. If she wants to come, she can come and go as she pleases. So the other dog that I do have, I call her the other dog because she's never around. I don't know why I call her that, but Araya, she's somewhere around here. So welcome in. Welcome in. It is February the 6th, Tuesday. Hopefully you guys are having a great start to your week. It feels like it's going to be, hopefully it's not, but it feels like it's going to be a long week. I don't know why, but I just feel that way. Probably because I have to be up at like 5 a.m. tomorrow for a doctor's appointment. So that's why we're doing an early live today. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. Welcome. We talk true crime daily. If you're not new, welcome back. Welcome on back. Thank you, True Crime Beat. Let me try. Oh, it's a Logi. Actually, you can see the brand on it for once. I usually have to tell people what brand it is. Let me get over. My mouse is like going crazy today. So welcome on in. Yeah. No, PKC. It is Clove. Yeah, Clove. You just landed in Manchester. I saw that you have a bunch of coverage over this Crime Curious. I need to go check it out. I actually saw that last night and I was like, where have I been? Where have I been my whole life? We covered Harmony's story. We covered this back in 2023 and we just got in 2024, but it was in the beginning of last year. I want to say like, it's been a long time. It's been a little too long. Let's see, actually. It's been 7 months. 7 months. So what we did on our last live is we went through the PCA and looks like we went through the whole thing in one live. Wow, I was a trooper back then, huh? We usually break those up then, break them into a couple different lives now, but yeah, so I'm gonna have to check out Crime Curious. If you haven't checked out her channel, go check her out. She has a really great channel and she does really, really fabulous work. She's very, very detailed and I love that. So we're going to talk about Harmony Montgomery today. Like I said, we haven't covered this for a long time, but I did put a poll out. So I asked you guys, should we cover it? Should we not cover it? And the majority of you guys said we should cover it, or you guys didn't even know about the case, like 14%, I think. So I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do this. So here we are. And plus I've been really wanting to talk about her case. It's like I said, it's been a little while. So let me see what we got going on here. What do I have? I don't even know what I have going on. It's one of those days. It's one of those days. So let me go ahead and pull up her picture because she's the one that we're talking about here. And I will let me pull up a better picture. This one is a little small now that I have it on the screen. There's a better picture of her. So like you guys were talking about jury selection today, it did start today for her father, Adam Montgomery. It's been more than 4 years after the authorities alleged, we have to say alleged, that he beat his daughter, um, you know, to where she was no longer breathing. He is charged with second degree assault, witness tampering, falsifying physical evidence, and abuse of a corpse in connection to Harmony's death. And he has pled not guilty. He just was found guilty of some weapons charges, and he'll be spending a lot of time in jail. So that's the plus side of all of this. But I remember when he was in court, he was asking the judge to not base like his sentencing on these charges. And I'm like, that has to be kind of hard as a judge not to do that, not to judge, but it's kind of hard not to. So normally when we start a new case, I do like a full timeline. I didn't get a chance to do one today because this was like spur of the moment, but I found one online through News Nation. So what we'll do is we'll go through the timeline. We'll see how everyone, reacts to the live. And then we will go into the PCA again. So that way everyone kind of knows the details of what happened. Now they are hard to hear. So we'll probably break it up into like 2 different lives. I think the other dog wants to come in. So I'm going to share this here with you guys. Yes, Kelly D, praying for justice for Harmony. I mean, I think it's coming. Now, I thought I did hear or read that they were shipping in the jury maybe from another town. I almost thought they said another state, but that wouldn't be right, would it? Oh, thanks, Crime Chris. I'll go to yours next because I'm gonna. Yours is probably even better. This one is like this one's like the rough. This one's like the rough estimate. This is like the. I saw a couple of different timelines, and this one is the one that just has like the key points. But I figured, it'll get us started. You're only an hour from there. Oh wow, Harlow, I didn't know that. I was always wondering where you were from, Harlow. Now I know. I would have never guessed, but I guess that's what, I'm not good at guessing things. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Oh, there she goes. She's going to go find her friend. Sorry about the dog paws. So this is just going to be like this is just like the key points in the timeline. Hold on a second. I'm going to shut the door. Oh, that's the dog playing with the cat. Hold on one second. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Oh my gosh. It's so quiet in here now. Let me turn my fan on. It's too quiet. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, the dog's got me all confused. The gray one, the brown one's afraid of the gray one for some reason. So then the brown dog will go and play with the cat, but she like jumps up and like you can hear her paws, so it gets really loud. And they're just playing. It's super cute, but so like one tries to bully the other, and then the cat just usually will bite her, and she leaves them alone. So basically, just what I said a minute ago. Harmony Montgomery was reported missing in 2021. Father charged with her unaliving, accused of hiding her corpse. She's never been found. Body has never been recovered, despite many searches. I can't imagine. I mean, what's wrong with people and children? I feel like we've been talking about kids too much lately. Adam Montgomery is set to stand trial on charges that he unalived his 5-year-old daughter and spent months moving and hiding her body before disposing of it. Jury selection began Tuesday in a New Hampshire court. And I was trying to see like if they had like got a jury or anything like that, but I haven't seen anything posted yet. So I'll double check before we're done with the live as well. Montgomery, 34. I thought he was a little bit older than that. Wow, 34. Has pled not guilty to unaliving his daughter, Harmony Montgomery. She was reported missing in November 2021, nearly 2 years after police believed she was killed. So she was reported missing in 2021, but they believe that she was actually killed in 2019. Harmony Montgomery, born, moves in and out of foster care. So on June, and I want to preface this. I feel like everybody failed this little girl. Like she didn't stand a chance. You know what I mean? She couldn't even grow up to try to stand a chance like on her own. You know, it's so sad. Everybody just failed this little girl. Caught alive, I know. I heard about Toby Keith that he died today. That's really sad. I didn't even realize he had cancer, and I didn't realize that he had cancer. You know, cancer will eat you, and I just didn't even realize it. It's very sad. I used to always say I didn't like his music because, like, I don't know. I used to listen to a lot of country, and then today when I saw that, I was like, oh man, I need to listen to some Toby Keith. It was just because it was played so much. That's why he really was a good artist. So June 2014, Harmony is born while her father Adam is in prison. Custody is granted to Crystal Sorey, Harmony's sole caretaker. I'm sorry, guys. Over the next several years, Harmony would be removed from Sorey's. Am I saying Sorey's? I heard that last name. Am I saying that right? Let's see. Because I feel like I'm saying sometimes I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Okay. I feel like I'm saying it right. Sorey's care multiple times because of Sorey's drug use. So here we go. Failing child. July 2018, Sorey loses custody and Harmony is placed in the foster care system. So that would have been when she was, 4? February 2019, Adam is granted custody of Harmony following his 2015 release from prison and supervised visits from Harmony in the following years. Now, I don't know how he got custody. I mean, we just walk out of jail and you get custody? I don't get it. I don't get it. Man. December 2019, or according to court records released in 2023, and we read those, and we'll read those again because they're very detailed. And Caleb Montgomery, who was Harmony's stepmother, told police that Adam unalived Harmony on December 7th, 2019, while the family lived in their car. Basically, Harmony apparently wasn't telling Adam when she had to go to the bathroom because they were living in a vehicle. Not like, where is she going to go anyway? Are they really going to drive her somewhere just so she could use the restroom? I doubt that. So he'd probably just tell her to pee outside. And so she was having accidents in the car because I think she was scared to say anything. And she's 5 years old. What do you expect? Kayla said he was driving to a fast food restaurant when he turned around and repeatedly punched Harmony in the face and head because he was angry that she was having bathroom accidents in the car. I think I really hurt her this time. I think I did something, he said, according to Kayla Montgomery. And I did have her on my last thumbnail. Should have put on her on this thumbnail too. So then Harmony's reported missing November 2021. Crystal Sorey tells police she hasn't seen her daughter in 2.5 years and reports her missing. Now, I don't know how you can go 2 years without seeing your daughter, even if you're in rehab. Well, thank you, Isabel. Look at Isabel sliding in with the gifted memberships. Thank you, Isabel. Isabel's like, it's early over here compared to your night lives. Thanks, Isabel. let's see here. Okay, so 2.5 years, man, 2.5 years. What are you doing? At the time, police revealed that authorities, including family services, had visited Montgomery's family in the past. Searches are conducted, but Harmony is not located. January 2022, Manchester police arrest Montgomery while he's sleeping in a car after he gave contradictory statements about his whereabouts of Harmony. New Hampshire prosecutors say they have evidence Montgomery showed a pattern of abuse while Harmony was in his care, allegedly telling his brother, I bashed her around this house. And we'll go over these videos too. I think there's like 2, yeah. That's crazy. Actually, we'll go up and we'll play this first video now, and then we'll continue to read. This is going to be, I think, the latest one. So we'll play this one really quick.
That Adam Montgomery heard.
If I can rewind it back and then play it for you.
Court documents.
Okay. All right. If you guys don't mind just taking a second, hit that like button. That really helps me, helps you, helps us, gets the story out there. Thank you guys all for being here today too. I appreciate it. So if you guys are just now joining us, this is going to be the case of Harmony Montgomery. Her father allegedly unalived her while in their car. They were living out of their vehicle. She was having bathroom accidents in the vehicle. He had a temper and he did something really bad to her. She has yet to be found, although I think people have their speculations on where she could be. And we're just going through the shorter version of the timeline for today. And then we're just kind of getting the story out there. And then, we'll read the PCA again in our next live. Because we read it before. So if you guys want to go back, like you can't wait to hear it. You can go back to the video that I do have on this. If you just probably type in Harmony Montgomery, it should pop right up for you. Yeah, help me, help you, help me, help you, help us.
Are unsealed, and for a reporter that should be a big deal, and I should be excited about it. And sometimes those court documents I really wish I would never read, because they will never leave me. And that is what happened when I read
kind of like Delphi
about a little girl that we reported on in the last year, Harmony Montgomery, cute as a button, her little glasses and her smile, and she'd gone missing, but no one cared. Nobody reported her missing for 2 years. And then when finally the search began, police smelled a rat, and they started looking at the parents. Mom lost custody because of drug abuse. Dad got custody. He was living in a car with another woman who ultimately he ended up marrying. But poor little Harmony apparently was living in that car too. And now the mystery seems to be solved somewhat. We at least know now that she is indeed dead. And we have the allegations in the court documents about how she died. And the prosecutors say it was at Adam Montgomery, her daddy's hand. Living in the car, what would you imagine a 5-year-old might do? Have an accident? Because that is what happened in the back seat. And Adam Montgomery was having none of it. Sick of her having accidents. So he, as he was driving, reached around and began punching her repeatedly in the face.
Before I forget, has anyone noticed how much he's changed since he's been in prison? Like his weight, his hair, his body, his mannerisms. Oh my Lord, have mercy. Maybe we'll see it in one of these videos. But yeah, he ain't got the spiky hair no more.
Face and head. So much so that Harmony died. And what happened afterward is nothing short of revolting. Here's what the prosecutor said. They quote, he delivered sets of 3 to 4 blows with a closed fist to Harmony's face and head on 3 separate occasions over the course of a few minutes. And then stuffed her body, quote, her grossly dismembered or distorted body in tied up trash bags and stuffed that into a red Under Armour duffel bag. And then touted that body around with his wife for months.
Put it in the ceiling.
Months. He's charged with second-degree murder, tampering with witnesses and informants, falsifying physical evidence, and abuse of a corpse. Joining me now is legendary crime reporter Bob Ward. He's been doing this business in Boston, Massachusetts for years and years. He's with Boston 25. He's been following this case closely. It's good to see you again, Bob. I'm sorry under these circumstances. Can you tell me how this awful set of facts continues after this little child is killed in the back seat. What happens next?
Yeah, it's beyond the pale, actually. Almost according to Kayla Montgomery, the stepmother, after they determined that that little Harmony's no longer breathing and that she's dead,
They took
the
her
car that
everywhere.
this happened in breaks down in the middle of the road.
I'm wondering
And so
that too,
before help
Risk,
arrives,
about
Adam
the tear
Montgomery
tap.
allegedly calmly goes into the trunk of the car, pulls out that a bag, this big bag, Under Armour bag, puts his daughter's body in that bag, and carries it down the street to an apartment complex where the car, where they were living out of the car. And from that point on, over the next several weeks and months, they move into another car. They stay with Kayla's mother for a
They go to
period
a
of time.
shelter.
They're taking that body with them, moving it from the Under Armour bag into a cooler at one time. They go into a family shelter. Adam allegedly stuffed her body in those bags up into a vent over the bedroom and put her body up there.
They did testing and they found human remains, secretion or whatever it was. Like, where there was an actual human body on top of the drop ceilings.
Only moved it when the body began to leak and began to smell and neighbors complained. So then they wrapped it up in more trash bags, moved it out again, took her body to a pie company that has a big commercial freezer, put her body into a smaller bag, a tote bag, if you will, put it in this commercial freezer for a period of time, for a couple of weeks while Adam Montgomery still worked. And then when
it's like the more and more that it's so sad, but the more and more that her body was decomposing, the smaller the instrument they needed to put her in.
They went into yet another apartment on Union Street, moved her body into a refrigerator, into a freezer, to get her body into that bag, that tote bag you're seeing right now. We brought her body into
look how small that is,
and turned up the steam and the heat to thaw the body and really work the body to get it into that bag. Actually, I'm telling you these things, I can't even believe these words are coming out of my mouth. It is so disgusting what ended up happening.
I can't even believe that this is true, what's being alleged against this man. And one of the worst details, I'll just wrap it this way, Bob, is that at one point, Kayla Montgomery stuffed that tote bag filled with the remains of little Harmony Montgomery between her two children in the stroller to take it to his office where he was working. It's Bob, let's revisit this at the time when there is a trial, potentially a conviction, and then the punishment, and we'll see if we feel any different about this. Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll go back to the timeline. But isn't that he was moving her? Oopsie.
Sometimes
he was moving her everywhere. Everywhere. And it's crazy. Sometimes it takes going back to it clicks because I forgot about the drop ceiling thing. I forgot about the ceiling thing. I completely forgot about that part until right before she was getting ready to say it. I was like, oh my gosh, they took her to the freaking shelter. Carried her inside a tote bag. Actually put her in the stroller in between two kids. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Where were we at? Okay, let's see. We were down here a little bit more. Okay. Read that. Sorry. Okay, here we were. It says Montgomery is charged with 1 count of felony second-degree assault, 1 charge of interference with custody, and 2 charges of endangering the welfare of a child. And then did we listen to the one from... We'll listen to these after we're done. How about that? And then August 2022, or 2022. Sorry, months after Harmony's father is arrested on abuse and neglect charges, police announced they're investigating Harmony's disappearance as a homicide. October 2022, Adam Montgomery is charged with murder. April 2023, searches are again conducted for Harmony's body, but this time in Florida. If they find her in Florida, oh my God. September 2023, Montgomery's trial is delayed because the defense says it needs time to prepare a new co-counsel. Guess somebody dipped. January 2024, Montgomery's defense team files a motion requesting the charges against him be split into separate trials. His lawyers are seeking one trial for assault charge and another for a charge of second-degree M. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, buddy. So the mom isn't, but the stepmom, I believe, is. I wonder if she's still in jail. I don't think so. She's going to be taking the stand, I think. I know that her real mom is not. Under the terms of the deal, Kayla Montgomery will face back-to-back sentences of 3.5 to 7 years, but a total of 5 of her minimum sentence will be suspended unless she breaks the terms of the agreement. Apparently, she made an agreement to talk about what happened. Now, she needs to say where she's at. No dealio if you don't tell us where she's at. So we did the first video. So now this one, I believe, is Brian Enton. And he goes over a little bit more about Harmony.
Tonight, Adam Montgomery faces charges of second-degree murder, tampering with witnesses and informants, falsifying physical evidence, and abuse of a court.
He looks like the type of guy that would have those jeans that have bedazzled on the ass. Just saying. And an affliction shirt.
Corpse. He remains locked up and he is awaiting his trial, which is later this year. And joining me now is Blair Miller, the adoptive father of Harmony's Montgomery's biological brother, Jameson. At one point, Blair and his husband also tried to adopt Harmony as well. Blair, thank you so much for being with us tonight. You know, I think when these recent documents came out, it was already such a sad and horrific situation. It became almost like next level with some of those details of what happened to poor little Harmony. How are you doing? How are you processing this? How's Jameson and the family?
Yeah, you know, and Brian, thank you so much for the work you've done on this. I know it's been important work and important attention to it. You know, when we were reading through those documents, it was just heartbreaking, beyond heartbreaking, unbelievable. And, you know, we knew this stuff was coming out. We've been talking to investigators, we've been talking to police, and we knew some of these awful details, but then to see it laid out there and hearing this reality that Harmony Montgomery lived and the story that led to all this, it was just too much. It was emotional. It's still unbelievable. And to think that was her reality that she was living is just hard for us to accept. And hard for us to think that we're going to have to explain that to our son one day.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I don't think people realize that you guys also tried to, at one point, adopt Harmony.
Well, and when we were going through the process of adopting Jameson, we were matched with him. You know, we were instantly told about that he had a sister, and we instantly asked, what's that situation? And is this a situation where if we're adopting him, do we need to adopt her as well? Because we were going to adopt her, and we would have wanted to do everything we could. And the state of Massachusetts quickly told us
Jameson did.
She's been reunited with her biological father, and we were quickly told it would just be Jameson. And we continued down that road. You know, how is Harmony doing? Because Jameson had a relationship with her. They were in and out of foster homes together. As we've been told it, and the information we were always given is that Harmony looked out for Jameson. And we knew instantly Jameson had a bond with his sister, and we wanted to keep that bond alive. It was important to us because we knew instantly it was important to him. And if that meant for her to come living with us, we would have certainly jumped to that. I think a lot of people now wish they would have done more. I know we wish we could have done as much as we could have.
Well, listen, I mean, I follow you on social media. I see the amazing life that Jameson has, and it's just tragic to think about if that had gone through with the state and Harmony would have been with you guys. It's just the whole situation is so sad and troubling, and the way that her situation was handled is just so makes you so angry when you look into it. I want to ask you about, there were so many new dates and bits of new information in the new paperwork that came out. There was one date that stuck out to you, December 7th, 2019. Explain why that was significant.
Yeah, it was a powerful day for us. Because we had just officially adopted Jameson, and we had already been going through the process, fostered to adopt him. And went through numerous proceedings on that, but we had just adopted him officially. And we were celebrating his first birthday as our family, as a family of 5. And we wanted to give him the best birthday possible. You know, he loves Mickey Mouse. We had a Mickey Mouse at his party. And as we were going through this affidavit, that December 7th date hit us hard. We started going back through our own calendars, our own history. And that was the weekend we were celebrating Jameson's birthday at our house. So we have these two worlds of, well, we're celebrating Jameson and making over him as much as we could, giving him as much love as we possibly could with our family, our friends, our neighbors, his new family, and knowing that what his sister was going through that exact time is just so hard to accept and just so hard to understand. How is that possible?
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your mind around. And again, just knowing the kind of life that Jameson now has, and then having really researched this case and knowing what Harmony went through, and the fact that they were siblings, it's just awful. And, you know, obviously now we've got all this information, but there's apparently going to be a trial. I mean, that's the plan at this point. Later this year, do you think that you'll go to the trial? I mean, that's going to be hard to, I think, stomach.
Every bit of this has been hard to stomach, and none of that gets easier. You know, every decision we make, talking with you here tonight, we think what is best for Jameson, and we want to be the best parents we can, best dads to him, and we know he's going to go through a lot. He's already been through a lot. As far as what happens with the trial, of course, we've been in touch with the Attorney General's office and want to be as helpful as we can. We do think it's important to be there in some capacity. I don't know what that looks like at this point. You know, it's hard for us to, you know, raising 3 kids. We're day to day sometimes. It's hard to know what we're going to be doing here at the end of the summer. But certainly it is on our radar. It's important for us to that people know that, you know, Harmony did have loving family, and Harmony does have a loving brother, and has a loving family that we may not have met her face to face, but we certainly know how important she is to our family.
Yeah, and she would have turned 9 years old back on June 7th, I believe. And you mentioned trying to remember her and keep her spirit alive. I understand there's like a tradition you guys now have.
Yeah, and my husband Jonathan's really, you know, developed this with Jameson and talks to him a lot about how do we celebrate Harmony in many ways, not just around her birthday. And so each year for her birthday, we do something special. And this year, you know, we had gotten 9 flowers for her birthday in the color purple, because that was her favorite color. And Jameson will always tell you that. And Jameson was talking to my husband, and they were talking about what to do with these flowers. And he said, well, and you're showing that picture, it's hard to look at, because he said, rivers lead to heaven, and that's where Harmony is. And so he wanted to go out there with his brothers and put those flowers there for her. And that's what we did. And that means so much to that smart, adorable little boy.
Man, I mean, well, he's certainly lucky to have you guys as dads. And
we're the lucky ones. I promise to tell you that, Brian. I always say that to people, adoption, you know, people think we're doing great work. It's these kids who are doing amazing work, and they're saving us.
Understood.
Okay. So I was looking on Twitter. This asshole. He is, I mean, like really wowza. So this is how he walked into court today. Sticking his tongue out, smiling, not giving a fudge. Not giving a fudge. Like, I mean, what? Okay. You're not going to be smiling like that whenever they give you 25 to life, but okay. And then I was seeing, I saw something else I want to show you guys. Oh, so Court TV is going to be covering the trial, I guess. So we might need to watch a little, because it might be a little crazy. It looks like it's already going to be crazy if he's walking in with his tongue sticking out. So it says here, the last minute and a half I didn't catch, they were talking about the knee brace he was wearing and the discomfort caused him during the last trial. Okay, well, whatever. And then there was a video somewhere. Yeah, so I was going to show you this video. It looks like that the judge addresses the court before.
With your counsel, the fact that
We'll see
you
what this
have the
says.
right to wear the leg brace because
Oh, it's
the
about the leg
shackles
brace.
may be evident to the jurors. Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay. And so you have the right not to wear the shackles, to wear a leg brace so that the jury would not be informed that you were incarcerated. Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay. And you want to waive that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And have you had ample time to discuss that with your counsel?
Ample time.
Okay. And as you know, I think you know, we're at some point during this case, we're going to go on a view. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So certainly, if you were wearing the
Say that
shackles
we're
at
going on a
that
view?
time,
Did she say we're going to go like on a view, like a jury view? Hold on a second. What'd she say? Put the closed captionings on. Can we do that? I don't think they have closed captionings. Okay.
at some point during this case, we're going to go on a view.
Right there. Okay. You tell me what she's saying. Is she saying on a view? Are they taking a field trip?
At some point during this case, we're going to go on a view. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So certainly.
A view? So like a real one? I like seeing like I'm a seeing people like seeing like I like to see things, a visual person, you know. Wonder what they're gonna go view.
If you were wearing the shackles at that time, again, it might be very evident to the jurors that you are incarcerated. You have no objection to that, and this is your choice.
That's correct.
Okay. Anything that the state wishes the court to inquire on in this regard any further?
I think only briefly, Your Honor, just that the defendant does have the right, if he wishes to choose to switch the leg brace at some time, that he just needs to let his counsel know that and they will bring it to the court's attention. So.
Okay.
Yes, I think there was a bit of a mistake there. He does want the leg thing for the view. It is sitting here all day in that thing that became very disconcerting during the other trial.
Okay, thank you. So if, thank you both for that. If you do want to switch, you can, but it may be that the jurors already see that you have the shackles on, so they may already know that you are incarcerated, and that we can't turn back the clock on. You understand that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if at any point you change your mind about that, let your counsel know, and we can get you the leg brace. But if they hear the jangling of the chains there, and the jurors are aware that you are incarcerated, that's not going to be a reason to not continue to go forward with this trial. Okay. All right. So is everyone ready for the jurors?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Well, no fancy mouthpieces in this trial. Like Murdoch, she just like spoke into that mouthpiece. That was so weird. Let's go back over to here. I was gonna show you this last video. But oh man, everybody failed this little girl. Everybody. So now he's saying the leg braces are hurting him. They're bothering him. I've had my legs ripped open, put titanium rods in, and you'll hear me bitching. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, why is it criminals are always the ones that complain, like about the dumbest things too? They'll be like, "Oh, you're not giving me, filet mignon in prison," or "Why am I not getting massages anymore?" I don't know. It's just really ridiculous things that they complain about when they do the most grotesque things. So I'm gonna play this video really quick. I'm gonna check on my dogs. I feel like they're doing something bad.
Welcome to Banfield. What a difference a day makes. Exactly 24 hours ago on this very show, I was sharing some pretty outrageous details about a 7-year-old girl named Harmony Montgomery and her mysterious disappearance. Police reported her missing for the first time just this past weekend, even though she has not been seen in public for more than 2 years. Many of you shared my outrage that nobody in her life, including her parents, seemed all that worried that she'd been missing all that time, or that law enforcement was sharing almost no information. Well, all that has changed drastically. Harmony's father, Adam Montgomery, is now officially under arrest and facing several charges in connection to Harmony's well-being and her whereabouts. And while, yes, that is progress, the biggest question is still unanswered. Where is Harmony Montgomery tonight? Even though the heavily redacted court documents reveal several new details about that little girl's life and the investigation into her father, Harmony's still nowhere to be seen. Here's what the police say they do know. On November 18th, 2021, Harmony's mother, Crystal Sorey, contacted the Manchester police and said she had not seen her daughter for 6 months. Remember that timeline. She said her ex, Adam Montgomery, had custody of Harmony, but said she couldn't locate him or her daughter, who at that point was just 5 years old. That's when police asked the Division of Children, Youth, and Families to help find that father. And more than a month later, on December 27th, just a week ago, Family Services told police they could not find that father, Adam Montgomery, nor could they find Harmony. That is also when Harmony's mom slipped to police that she hadn't been completely honest when she told them it had only been 6 months since she last saw her daughter. Instead, she coughed up the fact that it had been closer to 3 years since she had laid eyes on her little girl last. She revised her story to say that last time she saw Harmony was April of 2019 on a video call with dad Adam standing in the background. That is a very, very long time ago, especially for a little girl, again, who was just 5. Remember, April 2019 happens to be 3 months before the police got in their car and headed over to little Harmony.
There's a lot of things that happen in a child's life in 2.5 years. And she didn't call and, I mean, at least call and want to know anything. Oh, is she potty trained now? You know, I mean, like, she's in the bathroom on her own, like potty training. Is that what they call it? Yeah, potty training. Yeah, okay. I thought I was like thinking of like my puppies, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. Is she is she in school? She's 5. What is she like? What's her favorite color? What is she doing? Anything? Nothing. I mean, because normally even people are on drugs, they get like happy, you know, and they want to talk to someone. You think that she'd call and be like, wants to talk to her daughter, even when she was on drugs, but that's not.
Harmony's
That's
house,
not.
where she lived with her father. That was after a relative reported to them that Harmony had a black eye. It is also a full 6 months before the last time Harmony was ever seen in public again. That was the day police made a second visit to her home and saw her. According to court documents, when police learned that Harmony hadn't been seen for more than 2 years, they immediately started looking for Adam Montgomery, Harmony's dad. They interviewed multiple family members, including Adam's current estranged wife, Kayla Montgomery. Adam and Kayla have 3 other kids together, and tonight they are with Kayla. Kayla reported to police that 2 years ago, Adam told her that he had driven Harmony to be with her mom in Lowell, Massachusetts. That was back in November of 2019. And she says she believed him because Kayla says it was the last time she ever saw little Harmony too. After speaking with Kayla, police finally tracked down Adam, this man who just happened to be sleeping in a car with a current girlfriend. Adam told police right then and there, he thought Harmony was living with her mom because, and this part is important, Adam said the mom had, quote, come to pick Harmony up from him back in April of 2019. Devil's always in the details, friends, because those 2 stories just don't match up. Did the dad drive little Harmony down to Massachusetts and drop her off with mom, or did the mom drive up to New Hampshire to pick Harmony up from dad? That little mess up in the stories was enough for police to arrest and charge Adam, and he currently faces 1 charge of felony second-degree assault, 1 misdemeanor charge of interference with custody, and 2 charges of endangering the welfare of a child. This morning in New Hampshire, he waived his arraignment, and he is being held without bail in a Manchester jail. But police still don't know where Harmony Montgomery is tonight, and they are continuing to search for her. I want to tell Hagen, she's a former child abuse prosecutor, and Asha Musi is a licensed clinical social worker in child welfare services. Welcome to you both. Let me start with you, Asha, just because you've got this background. I don't understand, and please get me off the ledge, how for over 2 years, nobody did a welfare check on this little girl. There were issues, big issues. Nobody from the state ever dropped by to say, show us the child. How is that possible?
Hi, thank you for having me. I think there are so many unanswered questions. So there's a lot of things that we don't know. So just from my understanding in 2019, when the dad had custody or got custody or was granted custody of the child, maybe he was a non-involved party on that investigation. The child protection or the state made a decision to say that he was deemed fit to parent. If he wasn't involved, child protection normally has a responsibility to seek out other parents. She may have not, there may have not been a reason for her to come into care. So she was placed with her father. So the questions are, if her other child was adopted, then maybe mom's rights were terminated. So mom is not supposed to, if court terminated her rights, the arrangement that she had with the father was something that he was doing outside of the decisions that were made by the court. So because we don't know, like who reported her missing, when the police saw her in 2019 and she had a black eye, there's just so many unanswered questions. And when you don't have a lot of information, it's hard to make an assessment about what happened. If welfare checks are being done, it's because an investigation opened. Someone called. There had to have been a concern and a reason for someone to respond. Were they able to locate her when the call was made? It does sound like they kind of have moved around and been around. So maybe child protection did go out, try to find her, couldn't find her, didn't know where she was. It's just so many unanswered questions.
So Michelle, jump in here, because as as an attorney, but also former child abuse prosecutor, I'm sure that you're just, raging as I am. Here's what I don't understand. There was a bad history of these two parents. They lived on the street. They had substance abuse problems. These two children, you just heard from Jameson's dad, adoptive dad, and this little Harmony, they've been in and out of foster care, at least 9 different foster homes in 2 years. So
That is terrible.
Whatever arrangement is made, custodial or otherwise.
Can you imagine being a little girl and you're moved 9 different times? You would have to think that nobody wants you. I'm sorry, but that's just how you would have to think. Being that little, why am I being moved again? Why am I being moved again? Why am I being 9 times?
I just feel like when you've got 2 parents like that, it feels like it should just be an automatic that there would be regular visitation by the state.
Yeah, it sounds like many agencies dropped the ball here. So I've got a couple questions. Number 1 is, who gave this father custody? And number 2, why wasn't the father arrested at the scene when the police officer saw the black eye?
And well, that's a very good question, right? Can you answer it?
Can I answer it?
Yeah, like how does that happen?
I think the good people of Manchester need to put together a task force and start asking questions, not only of Child Protective Services as to why she was shuttled between foster homes and then reunited with her father, who went to jail for shooting someone and has a rap sheet. And then at the scene, the police officer is there, sees the black eye on poor little Harmony, and doesn't arrest the father when he knows, I assume my facts are right here, he was told by the uncle that the father admitted to bashing her around the house. And the police officer is standing there and sees the visible injuries on a little girl. And
well,
what?
That's interesting.
Child protector. I'm sorry, I get crazy about this stuff.
I do too. And I'm trying to put together a timeline here because I always want to give, there's the quote. This is what the father said, according to the father's uncle. So this would be Harmony's great uncle. I bashed her around this house.
Right.
So, Asha, the thing is this quote didn't surface until just like last week, December 30th. The affidavit says that the police got more information from great uncle Kevin. Great uncle Kevin is the one who seems to have taken action twice. He called protective services out, in July of 2019, saying, I see a black eye on my my grandniece. And then he called them back out to the home. We don't know what the incident was, but 3 months later in October, that's the last time anyone ever saw her. And then it turns out just last week, he tells police that, his nephew, this Adam Montgomery, said, I bashed her around this house. I guess the question, Asha, do you have to have a quote like that to arrest them? Like, shouldn't it be enough that great uncle calls them out and says, my great niece has a black eye, and they go out there? Like, shouldn't that have been enough for an arrest when family services and the police saw that she was injured almost, 2.5 years ago?
Why are you giving custody? Why are you?
One sec. Let me get Asha in here just with the
Sorry.
the child welfare background, because I'm curious as to how this just wasn't like not a red flag, but it was like, it was a hammer and sickle.
I mean, it is a red flag, but unfortunately, it's not necessarily enough to say we're going to make an arrest. So if someone has a concern of child abuse or neglect, you call a hotline and make a report. Okay, this child was observed with a black eye. So then once the hotline takes that report, an investigator will respond to the call. So there's a number of ways that a 5-year-old can get a black eye. So we have to think about all situations. So we don't know how it happened. So maybe child protection did respond and she had a black eye. She's 5 and, assuming that she was verbal enough at the time for an interview and may have been asked, what happened to your eye? So we can't assume. All we can, there's an investigation that has to take place if someone has some concerns, but there's so many different scenarios, so many different questions, so many things that need clarification, but it definitely isn't an automatic reason to make an arrest because a child has a black eye.
I'll tell you also, all these stories I've covered in this line of work, I hear regularly how overloaded Child Protective Services in every state are. This is not just, unique to New Hampshire. It happened in Florida too. And I'm going Florida here because there was another story of a little girl who was missing with her mom not saying anything that ended up being a very big story. It was Casey Anthony.
I agree,
Michelle,
Casey.
quickly, when Casey Anthony was out there and said, oh, I don't know where my daughter is. She's, with the nanny or something, it was nuts. She faced similar charges, giving false statements, child neglect, obstruction of criminal investigation, and eventually it was first-degree murder and a whole bunch of other stuff. I called her judge, Belvin Perry, today. And I said, first of all, I wanted him to be on the show. He's not able to. He's actually getting an award in Florida. Good for him. But he did give me this statement. I want to read it to you. This is Judge Belvin Perry of the Casey Anthony trial. He said, if we're going to protect children and if we're serious about protecting children where parents have a track record of abuse and neglect of their children and have issues themselves, and if those kids remain with one or both of those parents, the state has an obligation at least every 90 days to do a wellness check to make sure those children are okay. Michelle, last question to you. I've got like 25 seconds left. Are they in trouble? Are the state agencies in trouble up there, the police and child welfare, or is it next to impossible to prosecute them?
Oh, no,
I'm sure there's a fine lawyer in Manchester who could take this on and hold these agencies accountable. But I would also like to say to the people of Manchester to protect your children. If you see something, say something and listen to these kids. And I don't know why Child Protective Service ever allowed or a judge gave custody to this father with this criminal history. And I'm sure he did not read this behavior in a magazine. He was probably abused or witnessed abuse. Not that that's an excuse, but the severe discipline that the great uncle is talking about now, that he imposed on Harmony, these are all red flags and somebody should have stepped in. And I think the parents are going to
discipline, right? Wwho knows if the black eye was discipline? It might have just been frustration. You never know. Gosh, well, you really wish that Blair Miller, had been given custody of little Harmony. Okay, I have to leave it there. Michelle Hagan and Asha Mosi, thank you so much. It's just great to have your perspective. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Okay. So I do have all the legal documents and everything for this case. I'm going to read those to you guys on our next live. We'll start reading like the PCA. It's pretty heavy, so we'll read maybe like half of it. and then read the other half. That way we'll be really caught up. I mean, that PCA is extremely detailed. It's 54 pages. It's pretty long. We read it on the channel before, and then also I just looked up his court stuff. So it's kind of like Idaho. It has all of his the different motions, different court appearances and stuff in there as well. So we'll go through all of that throughout our next couple of lives. Now they are selecting jury right now, and it looks like here that they have 25 potential jurors have been chosen. They need 27 to go to the next stage. So today they worked through a pool of 115, and they only got 25. And then now a second pool of 100 plus people is in the courtroom. They need 2 more. And that was 2 hours ago. So they may get them by tonight. They may not. So thanks, Mike. I feel like a big old bottle of Pepto-Bismol with the pink one. Because it's like a matching set. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That would be a nice job. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm just reading other people's chats. That's fine. In 2019, doctor said Harmony was okay. Well, apparently she was not. I mean, Lordy. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, Court TV will be the poll for the entirety of the case. They'll be broadcasting on their website and YouTube channel. So we'll make sure that we keep our eyes out for that. Let me see if there's anything else. 13 minutes ago. Trial commences for Adam Montgomery in the case of his missing daughter. So maybe they do have them. Let me see. Okay, I thought maybe they would say that they had a jury. Okay. Well, I'm going to jump off of here. I just wanted to give you guys like a little bit of the, just like of the stuff that's been going on in this case. I think that tomorrow may be court. Maybe it'll start either tomorrow or Thursday. So I have to be in Columbus at the Spine Center at 7:45 in the morning tomorrow. And I don't know why I did that to myself. Why did I do that to myself? But hopefully they'll work my back out. Like they'll tell me what's wrong with it, which we already know what's wrong with it. Hopefully they'll tell me some stretches that I can do, or like a brace that I could wear for a little bit, like in the house. Because it hurts, but I don't want to get on medication because that's just masking the problem. And I'm not that old yet, I don't want to be like that's, I feel like that's like your last resort. You know what I mean? Like last resort. So I won't be streaming tomorrow because I'll be up in Columbus doing my thing. But if I do get home, oh, sorry, my back's going to bother me. If I do get home in enough time, I'll pop on and do some streaming. If they start opening statements tomorrow, which they should. I don't know if they're going to do like jury selection and go straight into opening statements, or if they're going to do jury and then they take the rest of the day off and they start the next morning. Usually just depends on how long the opening statements are and when they get jury selection. So there's no price for suffering. That's true. That is true. I just have I have a curve in my upper right, my lower left, and in the middle. And it's like, y'all, I mean, like, what the heck? So that's why I'm always I always feel like I'm moving or shifting. And I thought it was the chair, but I think it's just me. Yeah, I think my problem is Kelly D is like, it's coming up on the 10-year anniversary on Friday. And I'm just like, I'm like, you're fine. You're fine. You're not getting older. You're fine. You're fine. But thank you. Oh, thanks, Jan. Thank you. Because she said good luck tomorrow. I think it'll be good. I just need to get back into the Spine Center. That way they can like tell me what to do. And you never know. Maybe they'll get me like a massage bed or something. Everyone cross your fingers for that. Wouldn't that be cool? Sit here in one of those like zero gravity chairs. That would be fun. That would be entertaining. That would be entertaining. But thank you guys all for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. Or today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tonight, I'm going to try to see if I can get Vincent to hang some stuff up for me. That boy's been working So hard. So hard. He's probably like listening, going, oh, no, don't give me a job. But thank you guys so much for being here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Click the like button, all those fun things. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a good night, guys. Bye.